anxious. Another big part of the family story watching back in the U.S. as Hall looks downfield, got Terrence Edwards, and a big first down for the Bombers. Get a little field position up at the 30-yard line.
I'm going to explain just a little bit about the timing that Max Hall is trying to find here with his receiving core, and it's going to take a little bit of time, but he goes to the right player. He sees Terrence Edwards open. Watch Edwards take 3-4 steps, wait. That extra split second or two is just a timing issue for Max Hall. Now it's complete. Gets him out of a hole on that play. He'll get that better as the game goes on.
Amazingly, he had not thrown to Terrence Edwards. There's a handoff to Simpson. Got some room outside. And Chad Simpson turned the corner. A first down for the Bomber running back, who had 116 yards in the first meeting against Hamilton, including a 75-yard touchdown run.
The only game this year that he's had over a 20-yard run, and he bounces this one outside, gets the edge on Shamari Williams.
17 for Chad Simpson. Was going to mention, until this week, Max Hall had not thrown any passes to Terrence Edwards, even in practice, being the third-team quarterback. Well, seam right there. Matthews catches that and close to another first down.
And there's the timing coming already. You can see on that quick slant, timing perfect from Max Hall here as he comes down. He sees Chris Matthews on this slant, takes that step, 1-2, little play action, and then right inside between the 1 and the 3. That's the perfect timing on a quick slant route to Matthews.
Guy they'd like to lean on. 81 catches last year for Chris Matthews. First down at the 51. Again, it's Simpson, and he is dropped. Tackle made by the newcomer, Simone Lawrence.
Max Hall played a few games for the Arizona Cardinals, as you mentioned, Chris, and won his first start in Arizona and throwing his first touchdown pass to pretty well-known receiver down there in Larry Fitzgerald.
Beat the defending Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints in his first start, but lost to the Seahawks. 4 for 16 in that game. Was shaken up in that game. And then threw 2 interceptions for touchdowns in a loss against Tampa Bay. Second down, and that pass, Edwards goes up and brings it down for his quarterback. Shaken up on the play, though, but there's a veteran trying to help his new quarterback out, and Terrence Edwards been shaken up.
Yeah, it looked like he landed a little awkwardly here, but again, that out pass and the timing better. Now the ball's a little bit high, so Terrence Edwards has to go up and get it, but this is a clutch catch for 82, and this is why off the top of the show we're saying get the football to this guy more often. He's the playmaker in this group along with Chris Matthews, and did he land on his elbow awkwardly there?
Third catch of the game for Edwards, who did not play in the first meeting between these two.
Well, the guy's money. If you can get him the football, your offense can get some things done.
So the 9-year veteran gets helped up. We'll take a break and be right back. 9-yard line, 6 plays. They've moved the football 76 yards.
Could be a confidence building drive for Max Hall. A couple good throws, nice timing on a quick slant to Chris Matthews. Has hit his #1 target in Terrence Edwards a couple times, who recovers on the sideline right now. But a confidence building drive for Max Hall.
Bunch formation. 1st and 10, and it's Chad Simpson. And again, he is swarmed. Brian Bolke in the middle of that. Bolke and Torrey Davis inside that front 4 for Hamilton.
That drive over 70 yards so far. Now he's got to convert it. Give his defense a little bit of a break and maybe some hope. 6 of 8 completion percentage up there. Now can he throw his first touchdown pass as he approaches the red zone here?
No gain for Simpson, 2nd and 10. Two backs, Pombreon releases. He is the intended target, can't make the catch. Rico Murray there in coverage, but a flag comes down.
Late flag. And it was from one of the deep judges, which would indicate it's in the pass interference realm. A little bit of contact from Rico Murray on Pombreon going to the sideline.
Pass interference, Hamilton number 0. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
And as they move the football and the chains, Justin Goltz checks in.
Well, that could be the Wildcat. See, watch how Pombreon gets outside. Now he's got some leverage there, but Max Hall wasn't ready to throw at that moment, so he had to buy some time. And they called the left arm from Rico Murray around the waist of Pombreon.
So here is Justin Goltz in. And he'll follow the block of Simpson, cut inside, and Brandon Boudreau will ride him down at the 11-yard line.
Well, he was the starter for the last 2 games, played pretty well in game 1 against Calgary, but lost to Bo Levi Mitchell, and then against the BC Lions, 2 great opponents, obviously. Was in that to the final possession. Now Buck Pierce has moved up the depth chart to number 2 again, because over the last couple of weeks it was Goltz 1, Max Hall 2, and Pierce number 3. But if Max Hall falters tonight, Tim Burke said that he will go with his gut feeling, but may go to a little Buck Pierce.
3 for Goltz, 2nd and 7. Hall back in. He's got some time, and he'll throw back at the end zone. Pobla can't make the catch. There is a flag down as Hall looks skyward on a missed opportunity.
Well, he's upset because he had a couple of options there. One, he has a wide open Pobla at the back of the end zone, and 2, he could have taken off and probably run for the first down when he first broke contain. See what this penalty is.
Illegal contact, Hamilton number 21. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Simone Lawrence, the new weak side linebacker.
Away from the play and early. Illegal contact, obviously not when the ball's in the air. It becomes pass interference with the ball in the air. So that penalty against Hamilton keeps his Bomber drive alive. And it was away from Kito Pobla.
Penalty-aided drive. First Rico Murray, and now Simone Lawrence taking Kohler off his right.
Trying to eliminate the crosser.
So down around the 7-yard line. Hall pumps, and now into the back corner. Touchdown, Rory Kohler.
Guys, Matt's all pumped. And so is the family up in the stands. First touchdown pass in his first start for Max Hall. And he lays it out there for Rory Kohler. But what a drive.
So missed the opportunity to Pobla, but makes up for it with that touchdown pass to Kohler. The extra point put through by Sandro DeAngelis. And the Ticats now lead by 3 on the first CFL touchdown pass by Max Hall.
Neither the Hamilton Tiger Cats here dropped a man coverage. That would have been Rico Murray if he's supposed to take him in man. I don't think he's playing man. It looked like he played zone defense, and if that's the case, then Raymond Brown took a man and didn't play the zone back in the corner of that end zone. Either way, Max Hall saw it and hit him.
Great drive for the Bombers. The 11 plays, 101 yards, yards, and their cover team pumped up. Drops Siobhan Walker at the 25-yard line.
This drive was penalty aided, Chris, but that won't change anything for the confidence level of Max Hall, because after this touchdown throw, watch how pumped up he is, trying to get the hole. His teammates pumped up. He gets jacked up. He goes to the sideline and just wanted to show that emotion. His family was just as excited up in the stands. High fives for everyone in the Hall family.
And we didn't see those smiles when the drive started back at the 9. Things weren't going their way, but Max Hall's changed the momentum of this game. Let's see what Henry Burris does in response. And he gets the football into the hands of Andy Fantus. Short gain, wrapped up quickly by Mwamba.
But those are drives for a young quarterback that, number one, give him confidence. Number two, it tells your defense and the rest of the team, you know, I'll give you a little hope. We got a chance here, guys. Just let me get settled in, and you go do your thing, and we should be okay. And that's what Max Hall did with that drive. 101 yards, touchdown to Rory Kohler. See if the defense responds here.
2nd and 5. Burris steps up. He's got Jaguar. First down grab. Sam Jaguar just ran over that Gary Croton on the sidelines. No, not Croton, but one of the coaching.
Keep your head up down there now.
Jaguar, top Canadian last week's got a smile on his face.
Yeah, keep your head up. And you've got to. That's just Henry Burris buying some time, stepping up in the pocket. And Jaguar gets outside.
8 different receiver for Henry Burris on the game. Hand off, and here's Gable. Another good run for C.J. Gable, tumbling across midfield down into Winnipeg territory. 14 more for Gable.
When the Hamilton Tiger Cats beat the Edmonton Eskimos, the one difference in their offensive game plan was a lot more run, and C.J. Gable a big part of that. At 14 carries in that game. Kent Austin wanted to go with more balance and see what his running backs can do in that offensive line.
First down, pressure on, gets it away quickly, and the pass dropped by Andrea Jones.
28 rushing attempts in their win against the Edmonton Eskimos just before their break. Ken Austin, that was more than 2 games, the previous 2 games combined.
Well, averaging 13 rushes per game until that game against Edmonton.
It is right there, the 28 rushing attempts, and it really was a difference maker for them. It allowed their offensive line to settle in and maybe attack a little bit more than having to pass block every play.
And in fact, until this first half, the leading rusher on the Tiger Cats was Henry Burris. Gable's taken over that distinction. Has some time. And the pass incomplete, intended for Jaguar over the middle. And Disha Dunn on the coverage.
That's what I was going to say, Chris. Disha Dunn, when I talked to Tim Burke about how his defense responded, because they played pretty well against the BC Lions in their last game, that wasn't the reason they lost it. And the first guy he brings up every conversation I have with Tim Burke is Disha Dunn.
Here's Bartell trying to pin Aaron Woods at the 11-yard line, and found some room and gets out to the 29-yard line. Well, we'll see what Max Hall can do after that last 101-yard touchdown drive. Stadium live coverage gets underway, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific here on TSN, and Rough Rider fans wondering if Corey Sheets can hit 1,000 yards on the season tomorrow.
If he gets his average, he's about 15 yards short.
Wow. Well, Max Hall's got the Bombers back in this game, and they start at the Winnipeg 29. Handed off to Chad Simpson, and Simpson with a good first down run up to the 37. Brandon Boudreau with the tackle.
Tim Burke told me that the strength for Max Hall is his decision making and his quick release, and he showed us a little bit of that on that long 101-yard drive, getting the ball out of the pocket quickly, making the read, going with the football where he wants to go in a hurry. The timing was there on the slant to Chris Matthews, and here's a touchdown throw where he stepped up and waited for a second. 7 of 9 on the drive. He's got to have a lot of confidence after that one.
Drive was 6 minutes, 18 seconds long. 2nd and 2, and Simpson off the right side, and not much there. Bulky again shuts the door.
Brian Bulky has been the most consistent of the defensive linemen for the Hamilton Tiger Cats up front. They've had a lot of changes due to injury up there. Maybe the most dominant will be Torrey Davis, but Bulky's going to make this a tough decision. I think that Tim Burke may just punt this football away.
And the punt team does come on. 3rd and a little more than a yard.
Yeah, about a yard and a half, really.
And that's the first 2 and out for the Bombers on the night.
It's a big play up front by Brian Bulky to stop some of those momentum. Young quarterback trying to get in a groove here.
Here's Renault. Line drive on Ray Jones. Up through the first wave and up to the 48-yard line. Pierre-Luc Labbé in on the tackle along with Anthony Woodson as we go back to the sidelines. Here again, Sarah Orlesky.
Well, Chris, heading into this season, if you knew that going into week 8, 2 of the top 5 receivers in the CFL would be from the Ticats, you may have been hard-pressed to guess that it would have been Bakari Grant and rookie Greg Ellingson. I asked Henry Burris about those 2 receivers. He said that the rookie Ellingson is incredibly intelligent. He also credits his time in the Arena League and his familiarity with the waggle with helping him adjust to the CFL game. As for Bakari Grant, the 2 things that Henry Burris pointed to was improved route running as well as his hands. He says you could tell that Grant, who had some trouble fumbling balls last year and drop passes, he says you could tell it's something that he definitely worked on during the offseason.
Has he ever?
Big play by the middle linebacker, Enoch Mwamba, dropping.
But Bakari Grant has been the hottest receiver in the CFL over the last 5 games with 27 catches and 397 of those yards for Bakari Grant. That's ahead of guys like Chad Owens and some of the best in the business. So that's how hot Bakari Grant has become and how much he's improved.
Gable dropped for a loss of 3, and Greg Ellingson mentioned he thought he's going to get better as he starts seeing defenses for the second time around like this. Here's a pass for Jaguar, and he's got it. And Samuel Jaguar had a step on Deja Dunn and has a big gain down to the Winnipeg 25.
Boy, that was close quarters for Henry Burris, but he got it out of there.
A 40-yard play as we hit the 3-minute warning. Burris hooking up with Jaguar, who's 12th in the league in receiving.
Only Virgin Mobile members get